Hello everyone, Playstyles here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. My uncle made me this hat for Christmas. Or had them made, I guess more accurately. He's like, why haven't you worn them in any of your videos? What's going on? So you can't give me shit anymore, I'm wearing it! Okay, alright, we've addressed that. We're done. Today we're going to be playing Abathur. Mainly because someone was like, I want to play Abathur, but I don't know where to start. And I was like, I have no idea what to tell you. But he's a fantastic character. One of my favorites. One of my first master skins, actually. I believe he was number 4. He was very prominent in the meta a while ago and has recently fallen off. And rest assured, if anything goes wrong in the entire game, Abathur is the one everyone is going to blame. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the Garden Terror map today. That's a scary team. So are we. We are going to be going with Survival Instincts at level 1. The main reason for this is this is a very big map. So Garden Terror is huge. And I want to be able to generate XP for my team relatively safely. And one of the best ways to do that is with Survival Instincts. It's going to increase your locust health by 50% and increase their duration by 40%. So what is a locust? This is a little bug that you passively spawn that will just kind of walk through the lane and attack things. Now, this little guy by himself isn't going to do much for our XP bonus, but later on, they definitely can. Oh, Li Ming's died already. Oh, shit. We maybe going for a heal would be better here, but I actually doubt it. The enemy team has so much burst damage, I don't think a heal would have done very much good here. Basically, at level 1, you can go for regenerative microbes, which is going to give you a very, very small, basically the equivalent of a regen globe amount of regeneration on a target. Which, you know, maybe could have saved Li Ming there, but basically at that point, you're just arguing semantics. Your Q ability is the symbiote. This will put a top hat on a player, and then this player then becomes the tower on which you cast your abilities. My Q ability with the top hat out is Stab. This is just a straight projectile, straight skill shot that's going to deal some damage to the enemy team. Your W ability is an explosion of damage around your symbiote target that will deal AoE damage. And then your E ability is called the Carapace. It is the shield. This is what you're going to use to make your targets a bit more durable with the top hat on them. Now, there is a build for Abathur that focuses on mines in the early game. I am not doing that. I've never used it. I don't know when it's good. I don't know when it's bad. I know it's better on certain maps, actually. I take it back. I know it's better on certain maps where there's a lot of really small corridors that the enemy team will constantly be walking through. This is not necessarily one of those maps, so we're not gonna worry about that right now. The enemy team's Butcher, a little overextended, is gonna be taken down by the Garden Terror. Also, our other ability when we don't have a top hat out is the mines, and again, you can build for these specifically. I usually don't. But they could be good for kind of like global presence. You can kind of protect an area with these if you have enough time. Again, we're not going to be going for those. What we are going to be going for is an attack speed increase for Thrall, which should help him out. Should also help out our Falstad here as well. Shit, could even help our Gazlo in the right circumstance, depending on which talents he's going for. But one of the most important aspects of playing Abathur is constantly looking at your minimap, obviously, because you want to make sure you don't get snuck up on. The other important thing is generating as much XP as humanly possible. And understanding this is actually really, really important. So how do you generate XP in Heroes of the Storm? Normally, you stand by stuff that dies. There are some exceptions to this. For instance, when you're playing Azmodan, you can dunk things, and then whatever you dunk will die. But this isn't one of those cases. So you stand by stuff that dies. Everyone understands that for the most part, I would assume. So Li Ming up here, as she's killing these minions, is generating XP. Fantastic, great. The same goes for Abathur. When your body is next to something that dies, you will generate XP. But Abathur is quite different from other heroes because you're also going to be generating a substantial amount of XP with your spells as well. So when I put top hats on minions in a lane that no one's in, for instance right here, we can generate XP from our spells killing this thing. And that's something that that's a mechanic that most heroes don't have any interaction with. Again, there are some circumstances where they do, but for the most part, most heroes never have to deal with that mechanic. As Abathur, that's one of your main ways of generating XP, is just quite simply putting your top hat on a minion in a wave and watching the minion die, like watching everything else die in the way. And again, as you can see, Gazlo is about to back, so we're just going to move it here so our body can soak XP in the middle lane without us having to do anything. And then we can continue to help our allies down in lane with whatever they may need help with. Looks like, oh, so close, but didn't quite secure the kill there. I typically go for the Locust Abathur, which is really, really good at split pushing. And I mean really good at split pushing. Or I go for a pure teamfight oriented Abathur who spends most of the game looking at things as a top hat. Both are viable, don't get me wrong, but I actually think you don't get as much done as a teamfight Abathur. So for instance, whenever anyone on my team is engaging in anything, you can notice that I'm usually right there ready to help. Throughout this whole game, I've been pretty aggressive with these top hats on everybody. And I've been trying to keep as many people alive as possible and help out as many people as possible as well. All the while, still trying to generate as much XP as possible. Now, let's be very clear. I've been talking about generating XP, and you can see here that I am not #1 on XP contribution. In fact, our Li Ming is, because she's been up top soloing for the majority of the game. With this build, you scale into the late game, generating significantly more XP as you go. So these locusts that we got the upgrade for at level 1, you know, the upgrade isn't really doing much for us right now. Yeah, we're getting a little bit more lane push out of that little locust. But generally speaking, having that locust be alive for the extra 3 seconds it is right now isn't actually doing too much of anything for us. However, as we progress into the late game, I do fully intend on getting more locust upgrades, which will allow the locust to become lean, mean, XP generating machine. Abathur, where you going, buddy? Oh, the good old Abathur misclicks. Now, on our team right now, we do have a decent amount of crowd control from Thrall, but that's really it. So I always make my decision on which ultimate I want to take based on our team composition. I like taking healers, which is a bit unconventional. I like taking healers as ultimate evolution targets, and I like taking tanks, which can really control the flow of battle. So tanks like a Nubarak, for instance, really, really strong. Because we don't have those, or Jaina, by the way. Fucking holy shit, Jaina's such a good symbiote target. Or ultimate evolution target, excuse me, because you could stack crits on top of crits. I would assume Lunara would be good too, but I haven't actually tried it out yet. Anyway, I go for the ultimate based on my team, and that's really it. So because we didn't have a ton of crowd control that I could lock someone down with, I did go for the evolved monstrosity, which I'm going to try to use to push lanes and continue to generate XP. Pretty self-explanatory. That's my goal today. We're going to try to get our team ahead on XP and XP alone. Now again, this is something that's going to scale into the late game, so it may not be super impressive right now, but trust me, it will get better. So I did leave the bottom lane because I knew the walls were going to be falling soon, and I didn't want to be near that when it happened. But we are just going to give the top hat to Lunara, and hopefully she can go in and do some work. So right now on my mini-map, I am looking at the Butcher in the top lane. He is right here. And as soon as I see him kind of move out of that area, I am going to have to drop this top hat and reposition because, oh no, which is right now. Because the last thing you want to do is give the Butcher vision and have him charge in on you. Same thing kind of goes for Zeratul. You have to be really, really adamant about staring at your mini-map especially when you are playing a split push style Abathur, which again is my favorite style of Abathur to play. So it looks like the bottom lane is fine. We're going to use our mount ability. I've used this a few times. It's called Deep Tunnel. We actually don't have a mount on Abathur. Instead, we just appear. We can just teleport to anywhere that we have vision. It's actually really nice. Now, this is where our XP scalability is going to start to come in. We are going to go for Bombard Strain. The Locusts are going to gain a ranged attack, which is pretty cool. We're also going to spawn our ultimate down here, the Evolved Monstrosity. We're going to spawn him down here and let him do some work. So I don't have vision of anyone. Actually, Zeratul up in the top lane now. So let's give a top hat to Falstad and see if we could do some work here. Unfortunately, he is caught in the lamb to slaughter, but I actually think he's gonna, yeah, he's gonna be fine. Oh, good Sunder, is it gonna be enough? Can he land the wolf? He doesn't even need to. He doesn't even need to. One of my favorite things to do if you do, fuck those mines. If you do really enjoy the Evolved Monstrosity, one of the best things you can do is picking up the Healing Carapace at level 1. And you're gonna kind of split push a little bit more with him. And there are some changes to this build that can really make that quite effective. If you wanted to purely split push with the Monstrosity. He can be quite strong in a team fight if you babysit him enough, but it's kind of, it's really difficult to pull that off, actually. So, I'm just trying to deal with this mercenary camp that's going to be pushing down here. It's going to be quite hard with the enemy team's Abathur also assisting in this push. But we'll just give some top hats and we'll just land some Qs. We'll just shoot some W's and hopefully be okay. Falstad is flying down to help us as well, so I'm going to take this time to lay down some mines on top of the minion wave there. Li Ming is starting to show her face, so before I top hat our Falstad, I am going to just fall back to the bush a little bit, give myself a little bit of cover. We can assume Zeratul is going to be making his way down to the bottom lane pretty soon, though. Because we don't see him on the map, and we already know the enemy team is down here because the Abathur copy, that Li Ming was actually the Abathur copy. Okay, looks like top seeds have been taken, so we'll just come up here. There's no reason for the enemy team to come, There's no reason for the enemy team to come up here, so we're gonna go up there and start pushing with our Locusts, but of course that can be ruined. So the Evolved Monstrosity is going to push the bottom lane. Our Locusts up here are going to push the top lane. And then, if we wanted to really maximize this, which of course I do, we could top hat middle lane and generate XP here too. So all of a sudden, we have the Vikings mentality. The Evolved Monstrosity was generating... We're dead. The Evolved Monstrosity was generating XP for me down in the bottom lane. I was generating XP for the team in the middle lane with my top hat. And then in the top lane, we have these Locusts pushing, also generating XP when they get the killing blow. Look at that, generating XP in 3 lanes is Abathur. What you know about it? Generally speaking, that's one of the most powerful things about him. Just the fact that as the game continues to get longer and continue to progress, you just continue to snowball your team even more just by doing Abathur things. We are going to get the Locust Brood, which is going to spawn a group of Locusts. Wherever we want them to be. So we can come down here to the bottom lane. Granted, we don't have a building here anymore, but come down to the bottom lane, spawn a brood of Locusts, kind of get them pushing the way we want them to push, and then just sit here and watch us rack up XP. The enemy team's Abathur doing the exact same thing. Maybe we can... Oh no, you barrel rolled into the wrong damn thing. I'm so sorry, friend. I was gonna say, maybe we can keep Falstad alive, but it's not looking too good. And it looks like Zeratul and the Butcher are making their way down the bottom lane now, so she actually needs to be very careful, as do I. She's going to be just fine. Okay. So, assuming we still have Locusts here pushing, we do. I'm going to put my top hat middle. And while there's nothing going on, there's no team fighting right now, there's nothing going on that would require me to top hat a player. So instead, I'm just going to top hat a minion and get these pushing and generate XP and try to keep our team ahead. Keep in mind, the enemy team's Abathur is going to be doing the same thing, and I am starting to get slightly further ahead on XP compared to him. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's make this push count. Let's get a good push going here. Again, it doesn't help that we're pushing into an Abathur. That, of course, always makes things substantially more difficult, but we will get bottom lane moving in the right way. We do see Zeratul middle as well, which means we're pretty safe to move up. We're going to just scoot along this wall here. Oh, God. Oh, God. The butcher appeared out of nowhere, and he's killing everything. All right, we're not going down to the bottom at all. That was actually terrifying. That made me jump a little bit. Hearing the butcher charge as I was moving forward super slowly, that made me jump a little bit. Okay, so we're going to top out Gazlo and just get him, help him deal some damage to this plant. Hopefully we don't lose our Falstad. Yeah, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. We're just going to keep pushing down here in the bottom lane. Looks like everyone's going to make it out of there. Great, great, great. If the enemy team's Abathur is playing very close attention, he is going to know exactly where I am. I do keep top hatting our Gazlo, but it's often fuck me. Of course he was paying attention. Of course he was. And of course all of the ranged attacks are completely missing. But that does mean that the friendly team was in a fight where they had the numbers advantage there and they were able to win just because Zeratul was hunting me down the whole time. Now that being said, the Garden Terror is doing a lot of work in the middle lane right now and we're not really responding to that. And Thrall does find himself in cahoots with Zeratul with the Abathur top hat, so he is going to take a lot of damage. Now, with the split pushing build and the split pushing mentality, it is very difficult to pull off versus stealth characters that are going to be hunting you down. So there is a lot of risk involved with this playstyle, but typically, it's kind of weird to show off in this game because we don't have a healer, we don't have a tank, they're all assassins basically on the enemy team. And they also have the global presence of another Abathur, so it's kind of hard to show the contrast here. But trust me, it can be extremely powerful. So right as we spawn, we're just going to spawn Locusts up in the top lane. We're going to create our monstrosity, and then we're going to piece the fuck out. We're going to let this generate XP. We're going to leave. We're going to get to safety very quickly. They'll do work because we have the increased duration that we invested in at level 1 for our Locusts. And they will push for quite a while. And again, every time they kill something, we are going to be generating XP for our team. It looks like we can hear the Butcher charge every single time on top of this thing. Let's see if we can get him killed. Falstad, you know what help? Okay. Okay. Apparently we don't want to keep my monstrosity alive. I was trying really hard to, but apparently we don't want to keep my monstrosity alive. Just gonna use my mind's middle. Looks like Falstad did totally peace out. And then for this particular build, I am gonna go for the locust nests, which is going to allow me to spawn locusts continuously in one area. It's going to lay a nest down that they can just kind of crawl out of whenever their heart desires, which allows you to apply a lot of pressure to an area all the time. And you don't have to be there. And you're passively generating that XP in that lane without even having to go there other than putting your actual nest down. And again, this is hard to show off versus an Abathur that's doing the exact same fucking thing. It's really hard to show off versus an Abathur. Oh, I just made the situation a little bit worse. Actually, I made it better. As the mercenary camps were attacking the butcher there, I'm trying really hard to keep him alive, but he is going against two very aggressive assassins there. So I think it's understandable that he didn't quite make it out too well. Looks like the enemy team does have a plant that is going to be pushing in for them. How are we doing? This is looking okay. It's gonna be hard to keep everything alive versus this plant, and especially when Thrall is not in the base to help defend it. So he is on his way back. Okay, Li Ming dealing damage. I'm feeling okay about this. Here we go. We're going to give that attack speed increase to Thrall. Hopefully he can use it to deal some meaningful damage here. In the meantime, we're going to put some mines under these guys up top. We're going to spawn a monstrosity. And we're going to make sure that this siege giant camp that these guys took over doesn't deal any meaningful damage. Zeratul is hunting me down right now. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah, Zeratul, come at me, bro! Come at me, bro! Oh, that felt good. I'm overmodulated so bad. I'm sorry. I saw him coming, though. I outplayed the fuck out of him. He got greedy as a motherfucker. Okay. So what can we do? We can come up here. Actually, I'm not going to burrow just yet. I'm just going to try to keep this guy alive a little bit longer. I'm going to let these locusts get in front of the monstrosity. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. If I didn't lose control of him, that would have been such an easy kill. I could have kited this guy around my locust for fucking ever. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Can we save this building? I will give it a shield. I will keep it alive. Bot's getting pushed pretty hard. We can assume the butcher recalled, so let's go to the top and let's start pushing this in the right direction. And again, we're just kind of ignoring the push bottom. But top should be moving quite nicely. Top should be moving quite nicely. These guys are going to get a lot of work done up here. Okay, 55 seconds on the evolved monstrosity. We're okay down here. We're okay down here. Okay. All right, looks like everything's kind of leveling off a little bit. All the aggression that the enemy team was applying is kind of stopped. They were pushed back. We kept all of our buildings alive. We could have gotten Mule at level 7, which would have helped keep our buildings healthier throughout the course of the entire game, but of course we didn't do that. I am just going to move up with another group of locusts here. It is a bit sketchy because we don't know where the enemy team is. So I'm just going to drop a new nest and spawn the locusts. We're not going to get as much pushing out of these because they are losing their duration as they're walking down the lane. But that's as far as I wanted to go when we know how aggressively the enemy team Zeratul has been pursuing me. And we do see the Abathur copy of Zeratul there, actually. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take one of these archer minions. We're going to turn him into an evolved monstrosity. And we're going to try to push in here as hard as we can. Zeratul for the enemy team is currently sniping the middle tower of ours. Oh, we actually almost got a kill on Li Ming there. She does deal with all of our locusts, so we are going to have to go replace those if we want this push to continue. But we do have a mercenary camp over here pushing as well. Li Ming not with the team at all as they were trying to move in here down in the bottom lane, trying to get something done. So this split push was enough of a diversion to give my friendly team the advantage that they needed to defend that bottom building. And actually, Zeratul finally finishing off that keep there. Going back in with that aggression. Yeah, the enemy team falling back really, really hard. So we can now push the bottom lane. Make our way down there. Spawn some locusts. Get these guys moving in the right direction. The enemy Abathur has been really adamant about pushing the bottom lane. So maybe, just come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Come on. Come on. This is a bait. Fall for it. Fall for it. Damn it. So maybe we can push even harder than him. We'll see how it goes. Uh-oh, the butcher coming in for the enemy team. We should be able to keep our Falstad alive. Actually, Falstad's going to be perfectly fine. And just like that, we get a triple kill. Now, this is when you want your aggression to really be meaningful. Several members of the enemy team are dead, so we're going to teleport up top. We're going to get this moving in the right direction. The mines were put down trying to kill off as much shit as we possibly can here. Okay. Okay, one more mine should do the job there. And then we spawned locusts up here as well. Keep in mind, we still have locusts in the bottom lane. The enemy team is very close to me and looking for me right now, but I think we're going to make it out. We are going to make it out. Yes, good. Yes, good, 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 good. And then back to the bottom lane we go, and we're going to continue pushing. And as you can see, as this game is continuing to scale on, our siege damage is climbing very, very high. Our XP contribution getting better. Now #1 for our team, almost in the whole game. And you can see the enemy team's Abathur right there with me. This really is what he excels at in the late game, for sure. So I really do love this playstyle, by the way. It's a lot of fun. All right, we do have dueling plants. We have to defend if they push. I agree with that call. But while this plant on our team is pushing middle, we can come in and shove the shit out of bottom. Look, look, constantly pushing, constantly trying to poke at their weaknesses to get an advantage. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, and we're doing it well. So I am going to recall because I didn't know where the enemy team was actually going. We did lose our plant very, very early on, and our thrall's not going to be able to make it out of there. But look at this monstrosity go. With that push, we are going to snipe a building before they can even react to it because they did not prioritize the split push. And then we just make our way up to the top lane and we start to push this down as well. Spread these mines out relatively evenly. Make sure that all these minions are going to be taking damage when the mine forms. And then just like that, we have a pretty good push in the top lane just from 2 mines. And we can continue to reinforce it with locusts that will push very, very hard. Okay, that locust nest actually just saved me. That locust nest actually just saved me. The butcher walked in there thinking I was in there. And then we pieced the fuck out. Cool. All right, so this plant, still a problem, still pushing. We definitely need to stop that from happening. I do want to give the top hat to Falstad over Li Ming, but I thought Li Ming was going to take a little bit more damage. So here we go. The hat's on Falstad. Can he make it happen? We are going to kill the plant inside an Abathur. He's actually going to shoot Abathur further away so we can't damage him and die. Terrible, terrible misplay there. But you know what? That kind of shit happens. We're not going to dwell on it. What we are going to do is make our way back up to the top lane, put another locust nest down, spawn in another group of locusts, and start this pushing again as we make our way back to the base for safety. Okay, so the enemy team has taken over those top bruisers. They are going to be pushing the top lane. What else would they push? Looks like Thrall's going to go all the way back. What we could do, actually, is if this building is taking a little bit too much damage, we can put our top hat on that, give it a small shield. Fun fact about that, if you do shield a building, you can then drop your top hat and re-shield it significantly faster because, you know, your shield cooldown is reset when you refresh the top hat. So instead of having a 12-second cooldown, it has like a 4-second cooldown. So that's a fun trick you can keep in mind. Okay, so the enemy team has not been able to really commit to any of these offensive pushes that they've been doing because I'm constantly causing their attention to be put somewhere else. If they don't respond to my aggression, then they basically lose all of their buildings, everything they hold near and dear. So we're just going to keep applying that aggression because there's no reason at all not to. Unfortunately, we were not able to save Gazel there, and the enemy team is going to be able to make a pretty big push in now if they decide to do so. Night is falling, though. It looks like they're playing it safe, just trying to pick up every single mercenary possible. We're going to try to just kite the Butcher around our Locust, but of course with that slow that he has, we weren't able to do that too well. But look how much damage he's taking just from the Locust here, trying to stop our split push, constantly causing him to prioritize us over winning the game. And look, 260,000 siege damage has been accumulated very, very quickly, actually. Once we hit level 20, we started ramping up our damage significantly. Okay. I'm going to try to keep you alive, buddy. I'm going to try to keep you alive, buddy. The pokes were enough to keep them at bay, at least for a while. And again, I'm going to go back up to the top lane, and guess what we're going to do? More Locusts. Hey, Butcher, come back up here. Waste more time on me rather than doing the objective, rather than pushing lanes, rather than ending the game. And of course, Zeratul pops up out of bumfuck nowhere and takes me down. But that's the risk. That's the kind of risk you have to do if you want to accumulate really, really big, meaningful numbers for your team. I am interested in seeing the enemy teams. Oh, I thought he went for a mind build. So yeah, essentially we're doing the same damn thing, but he went for the ultimate evolution. In his shoes, I would have done the exact same thing because you can actually make a copy of the Butcher and lock people down for hilariously long amounts of time. Also, the Butcher scales incredibly well with the attack speed bonus of the Adrenal Overload at level 4. Looking like this may be the end of the game, though, as we all are dying now. But this is actually pretty interesting to see a very mirrored build by the enemy team. We both have been pretty competitive as far as numbers as well. I've done a bit more hero damage. He's done a little bit more siege damage. But as far as XP goes, you could really see how both of us started to skyrocket as the game progressed onward. They won't see it coming. They won't see it coming. They won't see it coming. Now we leave. Yes, the secret push. The friendly team calling GG, it probably is. If the enemy team walks in with their Butcher, they can do a ton of damage here. But will they? Oh yes, stand still. Yes, cast your fucking spells. See if they save you. Yes. Oh no, I missed. Fuck, we almost had that actually. That would have been fucking hilarious too. All right, Thrall, make it happen. Kill the symbiote. Waste his cooldown. Come on, Thrall. Come on, Thrall. We got this. We just need you to focus. We just need you to focus, buddy. Oh man, this is gonna be pretty touch and go. This is gonna be pretty fucking touch and go. If the enemy team makes a mistake, we can really capitalize on it. The fact that they're killing a building rather than killing the core, I would view that as a mistake that we can capitalize on. And I can push back this shit over here on the right with some locusts, and that'll keep the core relatively safe. It looks like Falstaff was diving in trying to do something, but the Zeratul VP cut off the remainder of the team, and not much was able to happen. So we are a man down here. We do see Abathur for the enemy team down in the bottom lane. We're going to go ahead and top hat Thrall here. Hopefully Thrall will be brave. He did Envenom the enemy team's Li Ming, and the enemy team's Butcher charging in deep, but is going to cancel that charge. All right, Thrall, you're not giving me anything to actually deal damage to. I need you to move in. I need you to be aggressive. Oh, the enemy team's Zeratul getting a little over-aggressive is going to be taken down. I'm going to try to top hat the building to keep it alive, but it's going to be a little bit too much damage for us to mitigate. And just like that, we are number 1 on siege damage, number 1 on hero damage, number 1 on XP contribution, and the enemy team's Abathur, which used an almost identical build, had pretty good success with it as well. So you want an introduction to Abathur? There you go. You actually got to see a pretty similar build. The Abathur prioritized healing his buildings on a map that is all about pushing buildings down, so that makes sense. He also went for the ultimate evolution. Oftentimes he was using this for the assassination power with Zeratul. Personally, I would have been making a copy of the Butcher all of the time so you can charge in on a target and just rip them to shreds. But both of us had relatively good success as far as our intent in the game. Maybe I prioritized top a little bit too much. Maybe I overextended a little bit too much versus the Zeratul. There is a significant risk versus reward when you are going against, you know, a team full of fucking assassins like we just had here. In a match where you have Johanna, Diablo, something like that, making a copy of them with the ultimate evolution can be something that is incredibly useful in the middle of a team fight, allowing your assassins to deal significantly more damage just because of the added control you can bring to the game. Oh, the Abathur's messaging me. I was on the other team. I enjoy your channel and squadron. Nice Abathur, friend. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all